VIX. VIX. All right, I'm going to get a copyright strike for that one, I know. But it's still funny. Let's try it one more time, ready? Let me go back to 20 seconds. Okay, here it goes. Ready, go. VIX. VIX. All right, there we go. That's so funny. All right, on to the next thing. Yes, you have reached VIX Crush channel on YouTube. And my name is Dave, coming to you live from the heartland of America, Cape Cod, USA. And today, the VIX is indeed getting crushed, and we did see Contango above 7% at one point. Let's take a look live and see where Contango is now by going to VIXCentral.com. And it seems like my computer must have updated somehow overnight because I'm having to like re-log into every website. All right, let's see how that looks. All right, so we are in Contango of 6.62%, and we did take a pretty big hit on the VIX today with us going below 14. Now, for those of you who are new to the VIX is the so-called fear gauge coming from the CBOE in Chicago, and it represents a number that is derived from several strips of options in the SPX. And when people get afraid and they buy these options, the VIX goes up. And when people are not afraid and when the market is just sort of rallying and people aren't concerned about the downside, and then the VIX goes down. Thus, the case today. If we look at major indices, we can see that indeed we are up today. And I apologize for my technical difficulties here. And yeah, right now we are up 8 points in the E-minis, SPX up 10, NASDAQ up 30 points, Dow futures up 117. And the chart that I'm actually looking at right this second is ACB because I have a position in ACB, that ACB being an MJ stock out of Canada. Let me see if I can recenter this a little bit because it's kind of like too large. All right, let's see if that's better. Anyway, this is a chart of ACB right now, and we're seeing it about to top $9. The MJs have not been doing so great, and especially ACB, which has fallen from a high of about 1038 a week or so ago. Let's see, on it looks like the 16th. It has fallen from that lofty height to reach a spot where it is only just below $9. But I think that there is a significant level of support there. And as I fix my screen here, we can see that it kind of had a turnaround day yesterday, that being ACB here. Okay, so here's the story in ACB. You can see it for the last week kind of going straight downhill and maybe a turnaround day. Let's back it out to the 180-day for a second here to just take a look at this. And that sort of tells the story more, the success story of this particular stock. However, this stock has not had the lofty heights of some of these other MJs. If we quickly scan through the different marijuana stocks, CGC here, we see the big move that this one made in last January, and then sort of led the way for a whole bunch of these other issues. The other one that used to be my favorite, Afria here, had the short sellers come in, and the stock tanked down to 375. I was kind of caught up in this mess, and I've given up on this one since then. I don't trust the management of Afria, so I'm staying away from that one. The other famous Tilray, of course, famous for the fact that it gapped to like $300 at one point last year, and of course, one of my buddies got in on the mix and actually made, I think, what did he say? It was either $1 or $2 million on Tilray by getting long during this rocket that it had up to $300. And I have another friend, Danny Zanny, who also got in on this mix too. But anyway, since then, Tilray, this, I guess maybe charters would call it a descending triangle here, and the volatility coming in. Ever since then, it's just not been the same stock, and it's just kind of slowly faded back downward. But still at a valuation of $65, still a several billion-dollar company, and all of this in the anticipation that it's going to make money at some point in the future as the MJ market builds in the world. A lot of these stocks, including ACB, have made deals overseas, notably in Germany and elsewhere, as the American administration not very friendly towards MJ stocks on a federal level, at least. But this continuing to be a very volatile industry. As far as I'm concerned, I'm personally just long ACB here. Like I said, it hasn't really had the real moment in the sun that some of these other ones have had, and looking for that to happen sometime soon. When I look at the chart here, it looks like 5 is the basement here for this one, unless it like goes out of business or something. But it seems like we could have a return to $12 at some point. And with all these MJ ones, it's like buy it when it's a bargain. Don't chase after it would be the kind of rule. And that's actually a rule for the rest of the stock market. Try to buy stuff when it's discounted, when everybody else is selling, and don't try to chase stuff. I know it's very frustrating when there's a stock and you're like, oh, well, I had this idea to buy it yesterday and I didn't, and now it's up. And let me take these goofy headphones off. And so why don't I just jump in and buy it now? And I've had that fear of missing out thing going on with me too before. But it can be a fight against your emotions that sometimes as a trader you need to can't be emotional to make money, and it can be a challenge. It's easier said than done at times when money is involved. People become very emotional about money, of course, and there's money involved with trading. Sometimes the best thing to do is just to turn off your P&L for a little while and not look at it, or to be comfortable and say, look, how much, maybe you have a chunk of change, like let's say you've saved up, I don't know, I have a friend who saved up $100,000, and he says, Dave, I want to make more money in the stock market. All right, but how much are you willing to lose in the stock market? What is your feeling on losing money, as far as if you lose X amount, when would you want to throw in the towel? So you've got $100,000 saved. Do you feel comfortable risking that whole $100,000, saying that whole $100,000 might go away? Well, it really depends on how likely it is to go away, I guess. But a lot of times, if you have, let's use $10,000. You have $10,000 saved. Do you want to put all of that $10,000 at risk? Probably not. For me, if I had $10,000 saved, if I lost 1,000 of it quickly in the stock market, all of a sudden I might just reevaluate, because it takes a lot of work to make that initial stake for a lot of people. So you need to ask yourself some real questions and decide in your head some real. You need to do some soul searching and say, what amount of money am I comfortable to risk and to lose? And if this starts to go against me, am I going to just panic and give in, or am I going to stick with it? Because if you're not willing to stick with it on some of these trades, then you shouldn't make the trades, because they are going to go against you. and you're going to have to hang out for them to come back at times. That's just the way things work in the stock market at times, especially when you're talking about like sort of investing in a stock, getting long something because you believe in the company or as a longer term investment. For example, what I was just talking about with ACB. I like ACB. I've been following it for years. I got long it, and I plan on hanging out. And I fully anticipate that it might have down days between when I buy it and when I sell it. And but I have some sort of plan in my head of how much pain I'm willing to take before I give up. And I think with ACB, it's somewhere around the $7.50 mark. So if it got down to $7.50, I would give up and say it's a loss. That I'm moving on. So if you can think about a little bit of this stuff in your head ahead of time, ahead of a trade, then you're going to take the emotion out of the trade a bit. If you're shocked, if the market does something that shocks you, then that's not as good of a place to be in, because if you're shocked, you might not make good decisions. For me, as being a longtime market player, there's not a whole lot that shocks me, but I remember that day of the Volmageddon coming into the day. UVXY was acting very weird. The market was acting very weird, and I became shocked. I became panicked, and I went and paid the offer and covered my position, and I saved myself for doing that. So, there's a moment to be shocked, but it shouldn't be shocked every day when you walk in to trade, because if you're doing that, something's wrong. So VIX right now, 1388. I want to try to get on a more regular thing where people say, oh, that's the VIX channel, and they can come in, get their quick VIX information, and leave. I kind of get off on tangents sometimes, but that's kind of the plan moving forward. Please check. Let me know what you think of the new name. I've really been watching a lot of this Double Toasted channel on YouTube for movie reviews. I think it's pretty cool. And trying to get some ideas from them. I'm going to keep working with the guy doing the cameraman guy, and I did get a hold of some lavalier microphones. Lavs are those little microphones that you put on so that we can walk around and have better sound. And I'm probably going to put the cameraman guy in front of the camera to ask some of the like viewer questions or something like that, because I think it's interesting to have more than me in front of here. And so we'll give that a try and see what you think of it. All right, so yeah, good day for UVXY today. Let's take a look just at the chart for UVXY for the last little while. Let's go to the 20-day chart. And it has been an oscillating chart here. As I move myself out of the way, we can see that we have had a couple spikes even in the last 20 days. And this has been very tradable, either from the long side or the short side. But notice, you don't want to be selling it when it's way down or buying it when it's way up. I know that sounds obvious, but the thing is like, if you get into like a chat room or maybe even StockTwits, if it starts going one way one day, all the people that are for that side, so if it's going up, all the bulls are going to be there and cheering it on. If it goes down, all the bears are going to be there and cheering it on. And you can get caught up and end up buying the top or selling the bottom. Now, this, by its very nature, is going to continue going down over time. So every top is just a temporary top, and every top could end up being the highest it's been, the highest it goes again. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but what I mean is it's slowly going down, and keep that in mind. That's part of the dynamic of trading UVXY, is that you need to acknowledge that it's slowly going down. So you can certainly buy it and make money to the upside, but it's not going to last forever, and it's not something that you would want to like invest in. I always tell people, if you're going to buy UVXY, it should be a 48-hour horizon for the longest to hold along. If you don't think you're going to get that move within 48 hours, then it's probably not best to buy it right then, because it's like buying a lottery ticket, buying UVXY. Selling UVXY is like the government selling somebody a lottery ticket, and I'd rather be on the side of the casino selling someone a lottery ticket than buying it. I noticed Seth back on YouTube, which is awesome. I'm sorry, on StockTwits. We missed him for a while, then he came back, which is good. Hopefully he's back there. It's like people don't know they miss somebody until they're gone. And all these people came up to me and was like, "Where's Seth?" And I said, "Well, go check out phenomgroup.com, and you can find him there all the time." And so that's your answer. All right, so we're going to move into April Fool's Day coming up after this weekend. I'm excited for spring to come, and thank you again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.